Part 84. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 833. 831. Grandma Wang smiled and said, "There are many children, so they are not picky about food." Yes, I heard that Ruxiang was picky about food, but he just finished eating everything. He was particularly picky when he was at the old house before. Zhang Lifang said, "Besides, there are many children at home, so it's lively." Everyone nodded and agreed with Zhang Lifang's words. Grandma Wang smiled and said, "No wonder the old lady likes children around her. Watching these children eat, I also eat half a bowl of porridge more." "Haha, we do too," Zhang Lifang said. "It's warm here morning and night, but it's not so harmonious at the Huo's old house." Song Chunli got up early in the morning and didn't see her eldest grandson, so she looked everywhere for him. When she found out that her grandson was not at home, she asked, Huan, Ruxiang has never lived outside. You put him there, aren't you afraid that he will cry?" "Mom, Ruxiang asked to be there to play with his brothers and sisters," Zhao Huan explained. "Children like to be lively. How can you be a mother? You can leave your child outside so confidently." Song Chunli frowned and said, "Hurry up and bring the child back to me." Huo Yingjun came in from the back and said, "Mom, that's my second brother and his wife's home. Ruxiang will not be wronged." "Even if he is wronged, we don't know," Song Chunli said, thinking about the unpleasantness with the second room before. Those people couldn't do anything to her, but what if they deal with her grandson? Zhao Huan was quite speechless. This mother-in-law's petty problem came back again. "Mom, if Ruwa and Ruimin were left in our house by my second brother and his wife, would you wrong those two children?" Huo Yingjun asked. Even if his mother was confused, she would not be hard on her children. "Of course not," Song Chunli said. "I don't get along with your second aunt, but what does the child know? Why should I care about these two children? They are all descendants of the Huo family, and she can't do such a thing." "Haha, that's it," Huo Yingjun said, "then don't worry about your second aunt. The second brother and sister-in-law have wronged Ruxiang. They have watched them grow up. They are so distressed that they don't have time to be so cunning. That's right, your second aunt is sharp-tongued, but she really can't do such a thing." Song Chunli said, "Hey, I won't be a bad person anymore. You don't worry about it, but I worry about it. Huan, you can send some clothes to Ruxiang and see if he cries." "I've packed the clothes. If Ruxiang can't get used to it, I'll bring him back," Zhao Huan said, and her mother-in-law finally stopped talking, which made her feel relieved. After breakfast, Zhao Huan passed by there on her way to work and sent a few clothes. The three children were playing in the sand, not unhappy at all. "Sister-in-law, did the child cause you any trouble?" Zhao Huan asked. "If Ruxiang is naughty, I will take him away." "No, he was playing with sand after dinner," He Tian explained. "Playing with sand, it seems very dirty." He Tian saw that the expression of the eldest sister-in-law was not right, and thought that the eldest sister-in-law was a doctor, more or less a little cleanliness, so she hurriedly said, "Haha, sister-in-law, don't worry, the sand was cleaned by Yingja himself, it's very clean, without mud." "Yeah, that's good." Zhao Huan smiled embarrassedly. "Since you are so happy, I won't take him away. Please help take care of him for another day or two." "No trouble," He Tian smiled. "Mom, good morning." Huo Ruxiang heard his mother's voice and greeted her. "Good morning, Aunt," said the twins. Zhao Huan was stunned. When did the children become so polite? She smiled and said, "Ruxiang, Ruimin, Ruwa, good morning to you too. Mom is going to work. Can I come to see you in the evening?" "Mom, go to work. Don't come to pick me up in the evening. I'm going to stay at my aunt's house for a week," Huo Ruxiang said. In his mind, a week is a long time. Zhao Huan smiled bitterly and looked at He Tian and said, "Oh, this child is away from home for the first time. He doesn't miss home. It's really not easy. He didn't like to live with my mother before. There are children playing here." He Tian smiled, "Sister-in-law, it's getting late. You go to work. I'll watch the children for you." "Well, then I'll go." Zhao Huan smiled. "Goodbye, Mom." "Goodbye, Auntie." The three children just raised their heads and continued to play with the sand in their hands. Now it's the critical moment. The castle is about to be completed. There is no time to get up and act coquettishly with her mother. Zhao Huan sighed in her heart. In just one day, she felt that her son was different. Not as naughty as before, and much more sensible. It seems that she has a chance to learn from her second brother and sister-in-law how to teach children so that they can be so well behaved and obedient. At 10 o'clock in the morning, He Tian squeezed juice and shared it with the three children, 1 cup each. The children like it the most, sour and sweet. They had lunch at noon, took a nap, and continued to play in the afternoon. Hua Ruxiang liked it here very much and didn't want to go home. In the evening, Zhao Huan came to pick up her son after work, but her son just didn't go home with her. When they arrived at the Huo's old house, Song Chunli was angry when she saw that Zhao Huan didn't bring her grandson, but she was embarrassed to say it in front of everyone. Qi Xiaoyan had nothing to do during the summer vacation, so she came to find He Tian. The house was lively all day long. Zhang Lifang saw that she had finished her work here, so she packed her luggage and went back. She didn't need to worry about the little one here, and she began to miss her husband in Nanji. Before leaving, Zhang Wenwen came. Brought 3 pieces of clothing. "Aunt, come and see, these are the clothes I made for you." Zhang Wenwen said, "I designed them myself, my aunt will look good in them." Zhang Lifang saw that her niece was thinking about her, regardless of the clothes. She was also very touched by the thought. "Okay, I'll try it on." Zhang Lifang took a white top and orange-yellow 3/4 wide leg pants and entered the room. "Sister Tian, this is what I designed for you." Zhang Wenwen said, "Sister Xiaoyan, didn't you come?" "Who is looking for me?" Qi Xiaoyan brought the child over. Qi Xiaoyan had nothing to do at home anyway, and often brought the child over, and just happened to meet Zhang Wenwen. "Sister Xiaoyan, it's me, the clothes have been made for you, come and try them on." Zhang Wenwen said excitedly. She was very satisfied with the 3 clothes. Qi Xiaoyan liked new clothes the most, and said, okay, I'll try them right away." Just when He Tian and Qi Xiaoyan entered the room to try on clothes, Zhang Lifang came out of the room. Zhang Lifang was wearing a white top with a v-neck and a slightly narrow waist, and a pair of orange wide leg pants with slightly wide legs. She was wearing a pair of black leather sandals. "Wenwen, I like this dress very much." Zhang Lifang just looked in the mirror in the room. It looked much better than the short-sleeved shirt and long pants she usually wore. 1805, there is one more chapter. 4 chapters and 8,000 today. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 834. 832. Because of work, it is inconvenient to wear skirts, so all Zhang Lifang's lower body clothes are trousers. In summer, it feels like wearing cotton trousers. "Yeah, and, if you like it, I'll make 2 more for you," Zhang Wenwen said with a smile. If someone likes the clothes she made, it is an affirmation for her. "I like it, but I'm going back to Nanji soon." Zhang Lifang regretted that she had no time to wait. "It's okay, do it well and I'll mail it to you," Zhang Wenwen said, feeling that she was one step closer to her goal. At this time, He Tian and Qi Xiaoyan came out. He Tian also wears 2 pieces of clothing. The top is a baby blouse with puff sleeves, and the bottom is a skirt that reaches the knees. Because Zhang Wenwen used a special technique to make some pleats, and the fabric was stiff, the skirt was larger. He Tian was also surprised when she saw such clothes, and then she thought it would look better if she tucked her top into her skirt. Qi Xiaoyan has a tall figure. Zhang Wenwen made Qi Xiaoyan a skirt with a cheongsam style, but not as tight as a cheongsam. The length reaches the calf, and the sides are slit to 5 centimeters above the knees. This is also to meet the needs of today's people. Vision. He Tian and Qi Xiaoyan are wearing shoes with a slight heel, which can better show the beauty of the skirt. Oh, that's great, Wenwen, you really have a talent for tailoring, Zhang Lifang praised, but her family didn't allow Wenwen to be a tailor. Otherwise, you can make a lot of money with this kind of craftsmanship. Mom, making clothes is no longer called a tailor, especially those who design and make them by themselves like Wenwen. That's called a fashion designer, He Tian explained. Abroad, those are high-level talents. That is, in our country, people only call themselves tailors if they don't change their mindset. Yes, these clothes are very nice, Ji Xiaoyan said. There are many classmates around me who want to buy nice clothes and shoes all day long, but foreign things are expensive and going abroad is not easy, so they go to the wholesale market. I want to buy them, but the workmanship and style of those clothes are not as good as Wenwen's. Zhang Lifang also nodded. This dress is indeed beautiful, with fine stitching and no threads. It's very good, Zhang Lifang smiled and said, Wenwen, do you have something to tell me? And you guys, you keep praising Wenwen, as if you have something to do. Auntie, don't blame my cousin and sister Xiaoyan, Zhang Wenwen said. I want to be a fashion designer, not an art teacher. I have long been tired of painting apples, bottles, and plaster statues all day long. But your grandmother, grandfather, and your parents don't agree. Zhang Lifang was a little embarrassed. After all, she was a niece, so she couldn't interfere too much. Zhang Wenwen hugged Zhang Lifang's arm and said, Auntie, you also praised me for being so talented. The clothes I make are beautiful. Cousin-in-law and sister Xiaoyan are both knowledgeable people, and they also praised me. I am really talented. Ah. Moreover, foreign fashion designers are very high-end jobs, and our country will also change its concept in the future. And my aunt, no one in China has done it yet. If I do it, I will be ahead of others, and my future achievements will definitely not be the same. Being an art teacher is comparable. Yes, as for her niece, Zhang Lifang also understood that being an art teacher was indeed a waste of her niece's talent. And, please help me speak, Zhang Wenwen said. You are the aunt of the Zhang family, and your words have weight. My grandfather, grandmother, and my parents will all take your words seriously. Thinking. Zhang Lifang followed He Tian and saw a lot of foreign clothes. She often read some clothing magazines and had an extraordinary vision. Well, okay, I'll go back to my parents' house tomorrow to say goodbye. I'll tell you whether it's okay or not. That's out of my control, Zhang Lifang said, but I will try my best. Thank you, Aunt, Zhang Wenwen said, and I will often make clothes for you in the future, free of charge. Okay, I'll do my best, Zhang Lifang said, not burying her niece's talent. With Zhang Lifang's guarantee, Zhang Wenwen felt that the matter was half successful. Sure enough, the next day, Zhang Lifang persuaded her parents, eldest brother and sister-in-law, and the mother's family was relieved. In the end, a compromise was used and he was suspended without pay. Give Zhang Wenwen 3 years. If the fashion designer can't make anything famous, she will just become a teacher without any objections. Zhang Wenwen readily accepted it. If she did not achieve anything within 3 years, it would prove that she did not have the ability to eat this bowl of rice. Zhang Wenwen was very happy and couldn't wait to come over to He Tian to discuss where to open a store. Qi Xiaoyan was also very interested when she heard about opening a fashion design studio. It just so happened that I recently received dividends remitted from my mother's family, so I could invest in this project. So he Tian invested 80,000 yuan and provided the venue, accounting for 30% of the shares. Chi Xiaoyan invested 60,000 yuan, accounting for 20%, and the remaining 50% was given to Zhang Wenwen. Zhang Wenwen's parents spent 10,000 yuan of their family's savings in order to support their daughter's career. Zhang Wenwen didn't want it at first, but her parents said that they had to pay for the venue, so it was obvious that they had to give up such a small share to her, so she had to pay some money before. Seeing that Zhang Wenwen insisted on paying, he Chi Xiaoyan did not dissuade her. Wenwen, I will take you to see our shop in the afternoon. How to decorate and do it, you can do it yourself, he Tian said. This house is one of those 5-story houses on the street, and I originally wanted to rent it out. He Tian planned to take out 3 rooms. The first floor was the lobby, reception room, and some places where clothes were displayed and measurements were taken. The second and third floors are where distinguished guests are received. The fourth and fifth floors are used as staff dormitories. The first floor of the yard at the back is a warehouse, which can be used to store fabrics. Okay, thank you cousin, I won't let you down, Zhang Wenwen said, very excited, her career is about to start. You don't need to thank me. This 150,000 yuan is enough for decoration and buying fabrics, he Tian said. By the way, I have a business card here. You go find someone and he will decorate it according to your requirements. I'll go take a look first. I'll draw the design and let people decorate it, Zhang Wenwen said, she will just be there to guide you. Chi Xiaoyan smiled and said, Wenwen, don't worry and do it boldly. I go to school at the Conservatory of Music. There are many female classmates there, and each one is more beautiful than the other. When I go to school wearing nice clothes, many people will definitely ask me. Then there were a lot of customers. Yeah, Zhang Wenwen said, when we have more business and I am too busy, I will find a few people who can sew to come and help, and recruit a few apprentices at the same time. Okay, you can make the decision yourself, Chi Xiaoyan said, Sister Tian and I are responsible for promoting it for you. Thank you, cousin, Sister Xiaoyan, Zhang Wenwen said. She was confident in her craftsmanship and also in her cousin, Sister Xiaoyan. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 835. 833 Swimming Pool, by Swimsuits. Li Yunzong happened to be going home to pick up his old mother, so he sent Zhang Lifang to Nanxi first, and then returned to his hometown to pick her up. After her mother-in-law left, he Tian began to renovate the last yard. The 2 yards they bought before had all been newly built, so he Tian asked the construction team to come over and build a swimming pool for their home. This is what he Tian has always been thinking about. The yard was very large, and he Tian had a swimming pool dug that was 26 meters long, 12 meters wide, and 1.5 meters deep. I could have dug a bigger ground, but I thought about the fact that there were children at home, and the children would come over to see her swimming. The water was too deep, so I dug a small swimming pool 12 meters long and 3 meters wide on the side. There are several steps on the side, 1 meter deep, and the height of the water surface can be adjusted according to the height of the child. If it's too complicated, the construction team can't do it, but it's very easy to put small white tiles on the cement surface. After half a month, it was finally completed and turned into a simple swimming pool. He Tian planted some trees, flowers, and plants near the swimming pool, and bought a few pairs of lounge chairs, small tables, parasols, and other interesting things. There were originally 3 rooms in the yard, which were also converted into 2 changing rooms, toilets, and shower rooms. Chi Xiao Yan looked at it inside and out and said, Sister Tian Tian, you really know how to enjoy it. I'm going to buy a swimsuit right now and let's have a good swim. I have some ready-made ones over there, no need to buy them, he Tian Tian said, although I have some that I haven't worn yet, it seems like you can't wear them. Chi Xiao Yan's frame is larger than hers. Hey, I know my figure is not as good as yours, Sister Tian Tian, just accompany me to buy a swimsuit, Chi Xiao Yan said, I can't wait to go swimming. I thought it wouldn't be very hot in the northern summer, but now it's here. You know, it's not only hot, but also very dry. My skin is tanned and rough, and I'm getting older. Okay, I'll go shopping with you, he Tian Tian said, I also want to buy swimsuits for my children. If there is nothing suitable, I will buy some cloth for them and make some vests and underpants to use as swimsuits. Let's go, I can't wait any longer, Chi Xiao Yan said, leaving the child at home and going shopping with He Tian Tian. In the early 1980s, there were also some wholesale markets in Yanjing, and they went straight to the Dadongmen market where clothing fabrics were located. After asking several people carefully, I found a swimsuit in a corner. The style is very conservative, the women's one is a vest, and a small skirt outside the boxer briefs to cover it up. For children, boys only have small pants, and girls have small pants with an extra vest. Although the style is not very good, the fabric is good. For adult men, He Tian Tian bought a pile of 12 pairs of loose swimming trunks. Whoever wants to go swimming in the future can just take them out and wear them. There is no need to buy them again. Wholesale, buy more, cheaper unit price. Colorful swimming rings for children. After buying the swimsuit, the water in the swimming pool was already full, and there were also special items for swimming pools in it. The water inside was clear and blue. Grandma Wang was also surprised when she saw such a big pool. Tian Tian, how much water does this cost? Grandma Wang asked. I see, the water and electricity bills alone cost a lot of money at home. Haha, Grandma Wang, we have to enjoy the hard work we make, otherwise why would we work so hard? He Tian Tian smiled and said, Sir, do you want to give it a try? Grandma Wang shook her head repeatedly and said, I'm not hot, so I don't want to play in the water. No wonder the child has been lying at the door all day long looking inside. It turns out he wants to play in the water. Chi Xiao Yan was changing the children's swimsuits in the house, and the children came out of the changing room one after another. Although the children like to play in water, they are still a little scared when they see such a big pool, and they all come to He Tian Tian. Mom, can you teach me how to swim? Hua Ruimin said. She was walking more than 1 meter away from the edge of the swimming pool, so she was aware of danger. Okay, He Tian Tian smiled, you guys wait here obediently while mom goes to change into her swimsuit. Chi Xiao Yan and He Tian Tian quickly changed into swimsuits and came out. He Tianatian's swimsuit is a brown one-piece, but this is in China, and it is not open enough to wear a swimsuit openly, so He Tian Tian put a gauze scarf around her waist. Seeing her swimsuit, Chi Xiao Yan said, Sister Tian Tian, please give me a swimsuit. Okay, He Tian Tian agreed, I'm going to write a letter to my mother tomorrow, and I'll tell her in the letter then. Thank you, Sister Tian Tian. Chi Xiao Yan thanked her and was about to jump into the water after saying that. He Tian Tian quickly grabbed Chi Xiao Yan and said, you can't jump into the water like this. You have to do warm-up exercises to set an example for your children. You know, if you don't do warm-up exercises before going into the water, the chance of cramping is very high. That's what Sister Tian Tian said. Chi Xiao Yan said with a smile, come on, everyone, stand still, let's do some warm-up exercises. Recently, Chi Xiao Yan took a physical class and did some stretching exercises. Several children, including He Tian Tian, followed Chi Xiao Yan. Come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, move your hands, move your feet, put your hands on your knees, twist to the left, twist to the right. Chi Xiao Yan shouted the slogan, "Children, there are follow along in a dignified manner." After about 15 minutes, the joints and muscles started to move and then stopped. He Tian tested the water temperature. It had been in the sun all morning and it was warm, just right for children. "Before you go into the water, Mom and Auntie have something to tell you." He Tian didn't smile and was very serious. "First of all, you can only swim in this small pool in the future, not that big pool. Secondly, there is no you can't go into the water with adults around. Finally, you must do some warm-up exercises before going into the water, remember." "Remember," Mom Huaruiman said loudly. "Mom, can we go into the water now?" "Okay, come on, I'll take you down." He Tian smiled. "Come on, Mom will lead you." He Tian went down first, and then stood at the bottom of the pool. The children walked down the steps one by one. "Xiao Yan, get some water on the children and let them get familiar with the water first," He Tian reminded, resisting the urge to jump into the big pool and swim. "Okay." Chi Xiao Yan smiled and said, "Sister Tian, you are so attentive. Children are young, so you have to be careful." He Tian smiled and said, "Be good and put on the swimming ring." "Okay, you can go into the water." The children standing on the steps put on swimming rings. When they walked forward, the soles of their feet could no longer touch the ground, and they were a little panicked. The wrong chapter was posted, but the correct chapter has been replaced. Somehow the morning was confused. Sorry. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 836. 834. Once you hit the water, that's it? He Tian stepped forward and held it gently, saying, "Don't be afraid, look, is it floating on the water? Slide the swimming ring with both hands to see if it can move forward." Yes, Mom Huaruiman said, "It's fun." After saying that, he slid his two little arms faster, but he couldn't control the direction and strength, so they were spinning in place. Others followed suit and swam around in the small pool. Chi Xiao Yan smiled and said, "They are all like little ducks." "Yes, it's quite fun." He Tian smiled and said, "Xiao Yan, you go swimming in the big pool. I'll take care of the kids. You can come over to take care of the kids later." Okay. After Chi Xiao Yan said this, she climbed to the edge of the pool and jumped into the large pool. With a pop, Chi Xiao Yan disappeared from the water, and after a while, she surfaced more than 10 meters away. Niuda clapped his hands and said, "Mom, that's awesome." Chi Xiao Yan went back and forth twice and felt very comfortable. "Sister Tian, you go swimming." Chi Xiao Yan felt refreshed and a little tired, so she asked He Tian to go swimming while she looked after the children here. He Tian took off the gauze scarf from her waist, stood on the edge of the platform, jumped into the water like a mermaid, and the splash was not big. He Tian gently swung his arms and swam slowly in the water. A big pond is much better than a big wooden barrel. He Tian swam inside for a long time and was reluctant to come up. The skin on the children's hands was a little wrinkled. Chi Xiao Yan put the children up and He Tian came out of the water. "Today's swimming time is over." He Tian said, "Let's go take a shower and change clothes." "Mom, can I still swim tomorrow?" Huaruiman asked excitedly. "I like swimming." He Tian smiled and said, "If the weather is still this good, of course you can swim." "I want it to, I want it to." The other three children also kept saying their thoughts, hoping that He Tian would agree. "Okay, you can swim." He Tian replied. "Okay, let's take a shower." I took a shower and put on dry clothes, feeling comfortable all over. Coming out of the yard where the swimming pool is, Grandma Wang looked at everyone and smiled, saying, "Are you comfortable?" "Yeah, Grandma Wang, It's very comfortable, he Tian Tian quickly returned. Oh, it's so comfortable. Yes, it's fun. I can swim, Grandma Huaruiman said. I'll teach you, okay. Grandma Wang took a towel and washed Huarua's hair, and said, Grandma is too old to do this. You can just like it, but Ruiman is obedient and adults are not here, so don't go swimming, okay. Yeah, I understand, Huaruiman said. Mom just told me that if you play in the water secretly, you will drown. Hearing this, everyone couldn't laugh or cry. But that yard is locked when not in use, and the key is with He Tian Tian. This door can stop those children, but it can't stop the spin turtle. This spin turtle swims around in the water very happily. Because the spinner turtle itself is carved from stone, it will not pollute the water in the swimming pool, but can purify the water inside. The little spinner turtle was swimming around in the pool very happily. Suddenly a dark shadow appeared, and the little spin turtle jumped, and soon found out that it was the master and his wife. In the middle of the night, you go to the house to do something. What a fuss is going on here? Just when the little spinner turtle was complaining, the invisible big hand grabbed its hind legs and threw it out with a whoosh sound. Master, please stop being so cruel and ruthless. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 837. On the weekend, He Tian Tian brought her child Huo Yingji to the Huo family's old house. Mrs. Huo, whom Grandma Wang hadn't seen for a long time, also came over. Let's have a good chat between the old sisters. As soon as Huo Ruxiang saw He Tian Tian coming over, he stopped playing with the children in the courtyard. He ran over happily and said, My beautiful aunt is here and won't play with you anymore. Is that the aunt who tells you stories and brings you lots of delicious food? One of the little boys asked. Last time Huo Ruxiang came back from visiting relatives, he brought a lot of small animal cookies, showed them off in front of them, and shared them with everyone. There were more people, so we were given 2 bear biscuits. Although it's less, it tastes really good. Yes, my aunt is very good. The biscuits and cakes she makes are particularly delicious, Huo Ruxiang said proudly. I'm leaving. Just listen to me. I'll leave the delicious food that my aunt gave me to you later. Okay, everyone agreed. He Tian Tian smiled and led Huo Ruxiang to the Huo family's old house. From time to time, Huo Ruxiang's eyes glanced at the big box that his second uncle was carrying. There were cute patterns on it. It looked very nice. I wonder what kind of toys were inside. I really want to see it now. Good uncle, what are you carrying in your hand? Huo Ruxiang asked. Is it heavy? Can Ruxiang help you carry it? The 3 adults laughed when they heard it. This Huo Ruxiang is really smart. He wants to know what's inside, but he's too shy to ask, so he actually asks in this way. Brother, that's a birthday cake. Huo Ruiman couldn't help but say, Mom said it's your birthday, so she made it for you personally to celebrate your birthday. Ah, Huo Ruxiang was stunned, then scratched his head and said, Yes, Grandma said that she would make me a bowl of dragon beard noodles today for my birthday. I haven't eaten the birthday cake yet. Is it delicious? It's delicious, delicious, and very fun. You have to blow out candles, make wishes, and sing, Huo Ruwa said. Anyway, you will know it later. Yeah, Huo Ruxiang's eyes were filled with stars and he couldn't wait. When he got home, Huo Ruxiang kept staring at the big box. When Song Chunli saw He Tian Tian and Huo Yingji coming over, she was very enthusiastic, as if the greedy aunt before did not exist. Oh, you come here when you come, why do you bring so many things? Song Chunli said. Every time this couple comes, they are always empty-handed. Although she has to arrange food every time, it is very lively, the old man and the old lady are happy, and the children he was also happy, and she was also happy. Auntie, I did the math. Today happens to be Ruxiang's birthday, so I asked the master in the shop to make a birthday cake for Ruxiang. He Tian smiled and said, by the way, Auntie, do you think this is okay? Call the children who are usually close to Ruxiang. Anyway, the cake is big and Ruxiang, Ruiman and Ruwa can't finish it. Okay, the kids are so lively, Song Chunli said. He Tian specifically said that in order to celebrate her grandson's birthday, she couldn't hold him back. Ruxiang's eyes were bright and he asked He Tian, Auntie, can I really ask my friends to come over and eat together? Of course, let's go. He Tian looked up and saw many little heads not far from the door looking into the yard from time to time. Yeah, Huo Ruxiang ran out and waved, come here, and asked me to ask you to come over and eat the birthday cake. Ah! More than a dozen children ran in swarm. Huo Yingji placed the cake box on the stone table, surrounded by many children. He Tian brought a basin of water and said, come on, wash your hands first. Everyone saw the beautiful ant, then looked at their little black hands, and quickly came over and washed their hands obediently. He Tian took out the printed red paper crown and put it on Huo Ruxiang's head. Huo Yingji opened the cake lid, revealing a 16-inch cake. Huo Ruxiang was born in 1976 and belongs to the Year of Dragon. There are several cute dragons lying, sitting, and standing on it. There is a circle of butter flowers on the edge, and there are many fruits of various shapes. Summer is the best season to make fruit cake, as there are many seasonal fruits. Wow, it's so beautiful. It smells so good. Certainly delicious. At this time, all the adults in the house also came out of the house and looked at the pile of children in the yard. There are also neighbors who come to the house for a walk. Huo Yingji put in the candles and lit 5 candles. You have to sing happy birthday before eating the cake, Huo Ruiman said crisply, come on, I'll start, and everyone will sing along. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. In order to eat the cake, everyone hummed along regardless of whether they knew it or not. Brother, you close your eyes, make a wish, and then blow out the candles, Huo Ruwa explained, this way your wish can come true. Is it really possible? Huo Ruxiang asked. Okay, Huo Ruwa and Huo Ruiman answered seriously. Huo Ruxiang put his hands together, closed his eyes and made a wish, then opened his mouth and blew out the candles. Okay, you can eat the cake, He Tian smiled. Everyone, wait a minute, I will cut the cake. He Tian started cutting the cake with a transparent plastic knife in her hand, and then placed the cakes piece by piece on paper plates. Come on, give the cake to the children first and then to the elders, okay, He Tian asked Huo Ruxiang. Okay, Huo Ruxiang nodded and gave the cake in his hand to Mr. Huo not far away. I made several trips back and forth, delivering cakes to my great-grandmother, great-grandfather, grandmother, grandfather, mom and dad. Zhao Huan was even more happy to see her son so happy and sensible. He Tian shared the cake with the children. The best one is for Huo Ruxiang. It has a dragon pattern cake on it, which is very complete. The children were holding the cake and eating it, praising how delicious it was. Huo Ruxiang felt very happy today and hoped that he would be so happy in the future. He also hoped that his wish would come true. The children finished eating the cake and went home one after another. Before leaving, everyone said happy birthday to Huo Ruxiang, which made Huo Ruxiang particularly happy. Haha, I am the first to eat cake. Playing chess with Mr. Huo is Mr. Wu who lives not far away. It's just a novelty, Mr. Huo said with a smile. The cake is not only one thing, but more importantly, the family is harmonious. Huo Zhe smiled dryly and said that He Tian was more kind to Yingji. Zhao Huan walked up to He Tian and said, Tian, thank you. In the past, for children's birthdays, we would just cook some noodles for them. Where can we eat cakes? Haha, it's just a joke, He Tian smiled, children like it, and adults are happy too. Song Chunli felt a little sorry after thinking about the not-so-luxurious lunch, and secretly prepared 2 more hard dishes. He Tian was so proud of her grandson, so she couldn't just remember his bad qualities and not his good qualities. Mrs. Huo nodded when she saw her eldest daughter-in-law going to the kitchen again. She said that it would be better for Song Chunli to figure it out herself. Don't care too much about some things. The more you care about, the more you will lose. If you don't care about it, you will get more. Today's 833 has been uploaded to 835. Now the correct content of my content 833 has been slowed down. If you see the 835 at 18 o'clock is the same as in the morning, don't scroll up and go take a look at 833. Sorry, I was confused and caused unnecessary trouble for everyone to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 838. 836. The child ate the cake and went to play in the backyard. Huo Yingjun burped and said, "It's quite delicious, no worse than the ones abroad." "Yes, this is what our dim sum shop will launch soon." He Tian smiled, saying that it would be opening in a few days, and she wanted to come over and say something. "Haha, that's great. Many people will definitely buy this novel thing," Zhao Huan said, "and he will definitely not worry about the business of the shop in the future. It doesn't matter to adults, just buying a cake for a child's birthday is only 1 cake a year." "I hope so." He Tian smiled, "it will open on Sunday next week. By then, eldest brother and sister-in-law will also go over and join in the fun." "Okay," Zhao Huan said happily, especially wanting to get along with He Tian. Because of He Tian and the cake brought by Huo Yingzhe, Huo Ruxiang had a particularly unforgettable birthday. The children nearby were all envious and kept praising her after returning home. While having lunch, Zhao Huan asked, "Ruxiang, what wish did you make just now?" "I want to be a handsome second uncle and the son of a beautiful aunt," Huo Ruxiang said seriously while eating. Zhao Huan and Huo Yingjun were hurt by 10,000 points. "My son no longer wants them and wants to recognize others as his parents." Mr. Huo laughed loudly and asked, "Ruxiang, why do you have this wish?" "Because the second uncle hugged me and played with Fei, and the second aunt cooked me delicious food and told me stories. Well, I look good," Huo Ruxiang answered seriously, "and there were many reasons." "Brother, if you say it, your wish will not come true," Huo Ruimin said regretfully. They also hoped that their brother would go to their house and play with them. "Ah," Huo Ruxiang was disappointed, "can I take back what I just said?" Seeing that his brother was sad, Huo Ruwa quickly comforted him, "Brother, don't be sad. There is a birthday next year. You can make another wish, but don't tell others then." Yeah, Huo Ruxiang then smiled and ate heartily. Huo Yingjun and Zhao Huan looked at each other. Is this the child's dissatisfaction with their parents? "Haha, second younger sister, second younger brother, you have only moved to Yanjing for less than a month, and my son has become your family," Huo Yingjun joked. "How do you usually take care of your children?" Yes, Tian, after Ruxiang came back, he often praised his second uncle and his second aunt, and said that the second aunt told good stories. Zhao Huan said that she was usually very tired from work, and after returning home, she wanted to have a good rest. Communicated less with the child, and then had a younger child, it was inevitable that the child was neglected. It's just that the children usually don't talk about it, and they don't care. It turns out that their son has remembered it in his heart. "Haha, I just try to spend as much time with the kids as possible," Huo Yingzhe said. "I'm off work. If I have nothing to do, I'll take the kids to play in the yard." Hearing this, Huo Yingjun smiled coquettishly. After get off work, even if he had nothing to do, he would read in the study and spend less time with his children. By the way, Tian Tian, what story can you tell? Zhao Huan asked. I can't tell it. As I kept telling it, Ruxiang said that I didn't tell it well. Actually, it's not me telling the story, it's some storybooks I collected, palm-sized picture books, and you read them according to the stories. Tian Tian smiled and said, you are a young child, so you should read more slowly. By the way, I have some at home. It's a lot, I'll bring you some next time. Okay, we husband and wife can't do it right, so we have to learn from the second brother and the second younger brother and sister, and spend more time with the child. Zhao Huan looked ashamed and decided to make it up to his son in the future. Yes, from now on, when you work the night shift, I will read stories to the children and play with them. Huo Yingjun added, in terms of raising children and educating them, they are indeed not as good as the second brother and the second younger brother and sister. When Huo Ruxiang heard what his parents said, he swallowed the rice in his mouth and said, if dad plays with me and mom tells me stories, then I don't want to change my parents for the time being. Huo Yingjun and Zhao Huan were very happy after hearing their son's words. Prove that your son will give them a chance. Okay, daddy will play with you more in the future, Huo Yingjun promised. Mom, let me eat more and tell you stories. Zhao Huan's eyes were a little sore. After dinner, Huo Ruwa and Huo Ruimin took out the birthday gifts they had prepared and said, brother, these are swimming trunks. You can wear them to go swimming at my house. Brother, this is my birthday gift to you, a swimming cap, Huo Ruimin said, giving it to Huo Ruxiang. Ah! You can swim, Huo Ruxiang was stunned. Is there a swimming pool? Yes, 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 Huo Ruimin said, we can swim for half an hour every day. It would be great if my brother comes with us. We can swim together. Huo Ruxiang stopped eating and turned around and said, Mom and Dad, I'm going to my aunt's house. I'm going to go swimming. Huo Yingjun looked at his wife. Zhao Huan smiled and said, okay, but you have to be obedient, eat well, and don't be naughty. Yeah, Huo Ruxiang was very obedient and ate obediently. Tian Tian, please excuse me, Zhao Huan said, if you don't agree, this child will probably make trouble. It's okay. It's rare for Ruxiang to call me beautiful aunt. I'm happy when I hear it. I'll also like it if there are a few more nephews like this. Tian Tian smiled and said witty words. Song Chunli, even though she couldn't bear to leave her grandson, was speechless. After all, her grandson wanted to go but couldn't help but cry and make a fuss. After dinner, the family was talking, and an old lady about the same age as Mrs. Huo came over with her grandson. Oh, Sister Li, why are you here free? Have you eaten? Mrs. Huo greeted her. She was a very familiar person who came and went on weekdays. I've eaten. Mrs. Li smiled and said, I came here to ask you about something. My grandson just came home and said he had a birthday cake at your house. It's his birthday the day after tomorrow, so he asked me to buy a birthday cake. But I know that birthdays are all about eating noodles and steamed birthday peaches. Who knows what a birthday cake is, so I asked where to buy it. Mrs. Li gave birth to 4 daughters before she gave birth to a son. Her grandson is about the same age as Mrs. Huo's great-grandson, so she loves her grandson even more. It's only once a year, and Mrs. Li also hopes that her eldest grandson will have a good time. Haha, that's what happened. Mrs. Huo smiled and said, it's a shop owned by my second son's daughter-in-law. It sells birthday cakes, but it hasn't opened yet. I asked my granddaughter-in-law to make one and give it to you. That's not possible. It should be something more expensive. I'll pay for it no matter how much it costs. Old Mrs. Li declined. She runs a shop, so why should she ask for other people's things? The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 839. 837. In this courtyard, there are relatively high-end consumer groups. He Tiantian gave Huo Ruxiang a birthday cake with the intention of promoting it in advance, but the main purpose was to ease the relationship with Song Chunli. The other purposes were just incidental. After all, there was an unpleasant quarrel over copyright issues before. Although it wasn't He Tianatian's fault, as a junior, she had to show something. Haha, isn't this opened yet? Grandma Li, just think of it as my birthday gift to Zinal. He Tiantian smiled and said, if anyone asks, just say you bought it in my shop and introduce it to me. I couldn't be more grateful for the business. He Tianatian's words made everyone in the room smile. It was obviously the same thing, but when He Tiantian said it, the people listening were all covered in irons. Zhao Huan was envious. Although she was more cheerful than before, she seemed dull compared to her two younger siblings. Look, my grandson-in-law said so, and I still have the nerve to ask for your money. Mrs. Huo smiled happily, don't be polite to me, otherwise I will be angry. Haha, then I will accept it shamelessly. Mrs. Li smiled and looked at He Tiantian with even more fondness. At the same time, I also envied the harmony of the Huo family. The father was kind and the son was filial, the brothers were respectful, and the married daughters-in-law and granddaughter-in-law were more capable than the last. Their group of old sisters are all very envious. You live your life on your own, and there are some things you can't envy. Just accept it, Mrs. Huo said with a smile. The Huo family all agreed with the grandson's daughter-in-law's business. After all, He Tiantian had a grandmother who was a big capitalist abroad. With a family background, it is normal for someone to know how to do business. At the same time, the Huo family's economy will improve in the future, there will be traces to follow, and they will not be afraid of being investigated by others. At around 3 o'clock, He Tiantian and Huo Yingzhi said goodbye and left. When leaving, Huo Ruxiang took his swimsuit and swimming cap with him to his second uncle's house, wanting to have a good time before school started. After returning home, He Tiantian felt that she had time, so she left her child at home. She wanted Huo Yingzhi to teach her to drive. Brother Yingzhi, I want to learn to drive. He Tiantian smiled, the car in the backyard will break down if you don't drive it. In fact, He Tiantian just wants to drive, go anywhere at will, and even take her children there. After all, the bicycle is too slow and it is unsafe with two children. Okay, Huo Yingzhi said, there are still 2 hours until dinner is over, we can practice for more than an hour. Then let's leave quickly. He Tiantian was excited and couldn't wait. Huo Yingzhi drove He Tianatian's beetle, with long legs and feet. Sitting on the small seat, he was a little constrained. Even if the seat was adjusted to the end, Huo Yingzhi still felt that he could not stretch his legs. Seeing Huo Yingzhi's aggrieved look, He Tiantian covered her mouth with a smile and said, haha, this car is really suitable for a woman to drive. Yes, I originally bought it for you. Huo Yingzhi said, let's go. Huo Yingzhi drove out, followed by Xie Wu and Zhang Ning in a green jeep assigned by the organization. Huo Yingzhi took He Tiantian directly to a place dedicated to driving practice, found an open space, and practiced driving there. Because Huo Yingzhi got his driver's license not long ago and was very familiar with the people here. It was just a matter of 2 packs of cigarettes. Huo Yingzhi and He Tiantian could come to practice driving at any time. When you get a driver's license, you not only have good skills, but also spend a lot of money. At this time, being a driver is a very technical job. There is no certain path and you may not have the opportunity to learn. Those who were practicing driving with jeeps and trucks all looked at He Tianatian's compact yellow car. They had never seen a car with such bright colors and strange appearance. Coach, what kind of car is that? It shouldn't be a domestic car. It must be imported. I know. I have a relative in Xiangjiang who sent me a photo. There is a car like this, but her blue one is like a bug. I can't remember it. Anyway, the name is quite strange. Of. There is also a car called a bug, which is not impressive at all. Anyway, Nation's little beetle aroused everyone's curiosity. They all looked at Huo Yingjia's former temporary coach and asked him what kind of car it was. The coach said proudly, "That's a car imported from abroad, a beetle." This is what he just learned from Huo Yingjia. Although the shape is strange, the performance is good and the color is good looking. Huo Yingjia sat in the passenger seat, and then asked He Tian to sit in the driver's seat. There is a handle on the side. If you move it, you can adjust the seat forward and backward to find the position that suits you best, Huo Yingjia said softly. He Nation's movements were very unmarked. If it were another coach, he would have started yelling. He Tian tried it once and gradually found the trick, saying, "Okay, I know this, let's move on to the next move." Huo Yingjia nodded, turned around, and got closer to He Nation's face. He Tian was stunned, pushed Huo Yingjia away, and said, "This is driving practice. There are so many people outside, so don't mess around." Ah, Huo Yingjia blinked, expressing that he was innocent. He really just wanted to teach He Tian how to use the seat belt, not kiss her. Although he really wanted to do this, he didn't want to stage a live erotica in front of so many people. "Actually, I just want to teach you how to fasten your seat belt." Huo Yingjia smiled evilly, and the teasing in his eyes made He Tian blush. "Then you should tell me in advance." He Tian blushed, glared at Huo Yingjia, and muttered softly. "Then am I okay now?" Huo Yingjia asked with a smile, waiting for He Nation's answer. "Humph, this guy did it on purpose." "Okay." He Tian rolled her eyes, quite unhappy. Huo Yingjia leaned over and whispered in He Nation's ear, "Actually, if we were at home, I could satisfy your curiosity." He Tian stretched out her hand and twisted Huo Yingjia, saying angrily, "Hurry up, or I will be rude." Okay, my wife, please be merciful." Huo Yingjia begged for mercy. "Okay, we can start. Watch, gently pull it like this, then insert one end, and hear a click, which proves that it is done. Then, if you want to open it, press it, and it will open." He Tian followed Huo Yingjia's movements. It was very simple. "Next step," He Tian said, "you have to explain it clearly." "Okay, I will explain it carefully to my wife. Take care to learn it in the shortest time." Huo Yingjia smiled and said that he could not provoke her again, otherwise He Tian would be really angry. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 840. 838. After studying for about an hour, I looked at the time. It was almost 5 o'clock and it was time to go home. He Tian shifted into first gear and could already skillfully turn the steering wheel, turn, make U-turns, etc. "Brother Yingjia, it's really easy to learn how to drive." He Tian smiled and said, "That's it for today. Come back to learn tomorrow. It's time to go home for dinner." Furthermore, many people not far away were looking here, as if they were waiting for them to get off work. "Okay, then let's go back," Huo Yingjia said, "practice for a few more days and then we can hit the road." He Tian nodded and said, "I think so too." After that, Huo Yingjia went to talk to the coach, then got into the car again, and Huo Yingjia drove away, with He Tian sitting in the passenger seat. After returning home, after dinner, He Tian took Huo Yingjia to practice reversing, turning, and other basic movements in the yard. Because it was in first gear and the speed was very slow, He Tian had good control and good physical coordination. "Okay, learning to drive is quite tiring. Can we take a rest?" Huo Yingjia said softly and yawned. It was already past 9 o'clock. He Tian nodded and said, "Okay, let's rest after I back the car to its original position." 5 minutes later, He Tian finally finished. "Turn off the heat." He Tian Tian turned her head and saw Huo Yingjia's face approaching her. He Tian Tian was about to get up and leave, but forgot that she was still wearing a seat belt and sat back down. Let's go back to the house, don't stay here, it's so embarrassing, He Tian Tian said softly, looking at the little soldier Xiaowu not far away. Haha, Huo Yingjia smiled, Tian Bao, you are overthinking it. I just want to unbuckle your seat belt. Snored. Only a ghost can believe it. He just knows how to tease people. Snap, He Tian Tian unbuckled his seat belt and glared angrily. Get up, He Tian Tian pushed Huo Yingjia away, I know how to tease people. I decided not to let you touch me for 3 days. Haha, Huo Yingjia smiled. He was not Wu Xiaomen now, and he promised to make Tian Tian change his mind. He Tian Tian ran away quickly, ignoring Huo Yingjia's maniacal laughter behind him. Really? This person is really bad. These words are sonorous, powerful, and aggressive. Stay close to whomever you like, He Tian Tian said back, still facing Huo Yingjia. After that, just do it. To be honest, I have never succeeded even once. This is a rather frustrating story. If you practice driving too much, and if you can't control your strength at first, your arms will hurt. He Tian Tian still wanted to practice today, but it seemed that she couldn't do it anymore and had to rest for 2 days. While eating breakfast, Huo Yingjia saw He Tian Tian rubbing his arm and said, I reminded you yesterday, but you didn't listen. Now you must suffer. Humph, He Tian Tian ignored him and was still angry. Although it is only on the surface, it must be shown. Oh, Daddy made Mommy angry. Dad is not good. Huo Ruxiang raised his head, looked at his second uncle, and said, Second uncle, don't make Aunt angry. If Aunt is angry, she will run away. Huo Yingjia was stunned. He said he liked his father and second uncle the most. Why would you rebel at the critical moment? What a bunch of spineless little traitors. Seeing her son and daughter, and her nephew defending her, He Tian Tian smiled proudly and said, we will prepare delicious food for lunch, and we will not give it to the disobedient people. Yeah, baby, be obedient. Ruxiang, be obedient. Huo Yingjia suddenly felt unhappy. Offending my wife feels like offending the whole world. Huo Yingjia went to work, looking back at his wife who was playing with their children. Oops, fights at the head of the bed and at the end of the bed. We can't make peace now. It seems that he is going to upgrade his methods. It seems that I planted some beautiful lilies where I worked, and when I came back in the evening, I picked a handful and brought them back. Xiaowu and Zhang Ning saw Huo Yingjia's deflated expression and wanted to laugh but didn't dare, so they could only hold it in. Now the boss has the look of a young man, and when they were following Huo Yingjia before, they felt that Huo Yingjia didn't look like a young man, but a middle-aged man. After Huo Yingjia left, Grandma Wang said with a smile, Yingjia, this child, has been like a little adult since he was a child, and he has become like a child again when he grows up. Hearing this, He Tian Tian blushed a little and said slightly, Grandma Wang, we were joking and made you laugh. You are a young couple, childhood sweethearts. It is not easy to come together after so many hardships. Of course I know that, Grandma Wang said with a smile, besides, only when a husband and wife have a good relationship can they live a good life and raise their children well. Well, that's what Grandma Wang said. He Tian Tian smiled. Grandma Wang smiled and said, it's great to be young. Haha, Grandma Wang, you are not old either. He Tian Tian smiled, when the weather gets less hot and I learn to drive, I will take you around often. Okay, Grandma Wang was very happy. She looked around while she could still move. If she didn't look around, she might not have the strength in the future. By noon, the water in the swimming pool was already very hot, and He Tian Tian took her children to swim. Huo Ruxiang was so happy that he put on a swimming ring and started swimming. In just 2 days, Hua Ruxiang has already learned to swim. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 841. 839. Zhao Huan came to pick up her son, and Hua Ruxiang said, "Mom, I won't go home until school starts." But there are still more than 20 days until school starts. Zhao Huan was stunned. "Let's go home and come back in 2 days." "No," Hua Ruxiang said, "I have learned how to swim. I will practice for a few more days." "Sister-in-law, the weather is a bit hot, why don't you come over and swim?" He Tian smiled and said, "There are new swimsuits in the changing room. They have been washed by me and can be worn at any time." "I can't swim," Zhao Huan said, "I'm just a landlubber." "Mom, it's okay. I can swim and I can teach you," Hua Ruxiang said. "Mom, let's go, we are going swimming. The weather is so hot, you will fall in love with swimming." Zhao Huan had no choice but to follow. Over there, He Tian had already put on a swimsuit, found one for Zhao Huan, and said, "Sister-in-law, put it on." Just as he was talking, Chi Xiaoyan came over with her child. "Sister-in-law is here too," Chi Xiaoyan said, "now I'm used to swimming. If I don't swim for a day, I feel uncomfortable." Zhao Huan got the swimsuit. Even though it was a conservative style, she still felt a little embarrassed. "It's okay, we are all women, you are afraid that we will see it," He Tian said, "let's go out first, and you can change yourself." The children were already in the children's pool and starting to swim. Even without He Tian around, no one dared to use the swimming pool. Niuda secretly went there once before and was severely beaten by Chi Xiaoyan. The other children looked on and were so scared that they never dared to go to the big pool again. After a while, Zhao Huan finally changed, did some simple warm-up exercises, and went to the swimming pool where the child was. Zhao Huan did not dare to go to the big swimming pool. He Tian, Chi Xiaoyan swam back and forth several times, and then she climbed up out of breath and sat on the deck chair under the parasol next to it. "Hey, it's very enjoyable when swimming," Chi Xiaoyan said, "but when I change the water and clean up, I feel a little tired. I'm planning to find 2 nannies to do housework," He Tian said. "She now has to study, take care of her children, and look after her business, so she doesn't have much time to clean such a big house. After cleaning once, I was so tired that I couldn't stand upright." "Yes, we should find someone to help with things at home," Chi Xiaoyan said. "The reason why I don't look for one is because my parents-in-law are here, and my yard is not big, so they can be busy." He Tian nodded and said, "Well, that's okay. I'm going to find someone. I'm really tired." Zhao Huan also came up, sat on the recliner on the other side, and looked at the child closely. "Do you want to hire a nanny?" Zhao Huan asked. "Considering that the yard here is huge and there is such a big swimming pool, it is indeed very tiring for the younger siblings to work alone." "Yes, just helping me clean," He Tian smiled and said. "Sister-in-law, do you have anyone you can introduce?" Zhao Huan smiled and said, "There is indeed one, the old Mr. and Ms. Kuo from our hospital. They are very diligent. They are the hospital nurses. As you know, they often have to work overtime, but her father is not in good health, so she has to take care of both. I can't work in the hospital anymore. If you recruit people here, you can ask them to come over." "Okay, I just need to let them work during the day. I don't need them at night," He Tian said. "Sister-in-law, you can ask them to come over when you are free. Just housework, cleaning, and tidying up the flower beds, etc." "Okay." Zhao Huan was a little embarrassed and asked in a low voice, "Wait, How much are you prepared to pay per month? How much does it cost for them to stay in the hospital a month? He Tian asked. She didn't understand the market here. Zhao Huan thought for a while and said, the salary for 2 people is about 200 yuan. Oh, then I'll give them a salary of 300 yuan. When the season comes, there will be bonuses and gifts for good work. He Tian said, is this okay? Okay, it's already very good. It's higher than the salary in our hospital, Zhao Huan said with a smile. Uncle Guo and Aunt Guo are very hard-working people. They don't talk much, but they work hard. Okay, someone who can be praised like this by my sister-in-law must be very good, He Tian said. The salary of 300 yuan for 2 people here includes a lunch. Well, I'll tell them when I get to work tomorrow, Zhao Huan said. Uncle Guo and Aunt Guo have helped Zhao Huan several times over the years, so she is also willing to help them. Zhao Huan had dinner and went back alone without taking her son Huo Ruxiang away. When Huo Yingji came back, He Tian said that he wanted to find 2 helpers. It should have been like this a long time ago. I feel sorry for you when I see you working so hard, Huo Yingji said. Anyway, we don't lack the money now. If we find the right people to do the work, you can be better off. Well, I won't be brave anymore. It's too tiring, He Tian sighed. He must learn to hire people. Then it is true that problems that can be solved with money are not problems. This weekend, on Saturday afternoon, Huo Yingji took He Tian to visit her grandmother's house and gave them many gifts. On Sunday morning, I went to the Huo family's old house. This time, Huo Ruxiang finally returned home. Song Chunli has not seen her grandson for a week and misses her very much. She wanted to visit several times but was too embarrassed to go. Although Huo Ruxiang was playful, he also missed his family. As soon as he returned home, he told his grandmother, grandfather, and parents about what happened at his second uncle's house. After dinner, Mr. Huo asked the nanny to bring down a brown paper bag and said, Tian, I heard that your work matter has not been finalized yet, so I asked a friend to find one for you. He is also a teacher in the university. Ah, He Tian was surprised. Didn't you agree to continue studying hard? Mr. Huo was surprised when he saw He Tian and said with a smile, are you surprised? Surprise, He Tian smiled, then took it and opened it gently to see which school he would go to as a teacher. When I saw it said Huaxia Film Academy, Drama, Film and Television Literature, Chinese teacher. Haha, it matches her major. But that's a film school. There seem to be a lot of celebrities. In the past, she only learned about celebrities from TV, but now she can teach them? This job is a bit sudden. What's wrong, you don't like it? Mr. Huo was a little embarrassed when he saw He Tian's expression, and asked cautiously. He originally wanted to surprise his grandson's wife, so don't do bad things out of good intentions. I like it, He Tian nodded and agreed bravely. Other schools have no shortage of Chinese teachers for the time being, and we can't do anything to bully others, Mr. Huo said. This is also a good university, but it happens to be short of Chinese teachers. I will arrange it for your professional counterpart. Thank you, Grandpa, I like it very much. He Tian nodded and responded first in front of everyone. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Xing Cao. Chapter 842. 840. Huo Yingji was playing with her children outside. He didn't know about the job for the time being, so he would probably approve of her going to work. When He Tian saw that everyone else was in agreement and had no inappropriate expressions, he thought that filmmakers in the 1980s were still very pure, unlike those in later generations who had many messy things. Furthermore, she is just a Chinese teacher and just teaches well. Other things have little to do with her. When leaving, Song Chunli didn't want her grandson to follow her back. But in the blink of an eye, Huo Ruxiang sneaked into the car and sat in the car. If he didn't get out, he would go back with his uncle and aunt. After that, Huo Ruxiang got his wish and went back. It used to be about eating and listening to stories, but now it also includes swimming. At noon, Huo Ruxiang and his friends showed off how well they could swim, and the others were extremely envious. I will definitely not come back until school starts. I am already too happy to miss my childhood. When he went back in the evening, he Tian put the brown paper bag on the table. Huo Yingzhe was curious and asked, "What is this?" "It's a document to transfer working relationships." He Tian spoke behind Huo Yingzhe's back while she was sorting out her clothes and cleaning up the housework in her house. He Tian is still used to cleaning her bedroom by herself and values her privacy. "Work-related? Aren't you going to study?" Huo Yingzhe asked. "Why did it change to work-related again?" He Tian smiled and said, "My grandfather helped me transfer. I said before that I couldn't be a teacher in a university in Yanjing because of my knowledge. My grandfather thought that we had no relationship and couldn't find a suitable one, so he asked someone to find one for me." "Relation?" Oh, Huo Yingzhe responded, opened it and took a look. His eyes widened. "Huaxia Film Academy. Yes, there are majors and a lot of basic Chinese courses." He Tian smiled. "It can be regarded as the counterpart of my major. Besides, this was my grandfather's wish. I couldn't refuse, so I accepted it." "China Film Academy. There are all beauties and handsome guys inside, just in case, just in case." Huo Yingzhe didn't look good on his face. He Tian packed up her things, and when she saw Huo Yingzhe stop talking, she knew that this man was being petty. He Tian leaned forward and sat on Huo Yingzhe's lap, stretched out her fingers, gently lifted Huo Yingzhe's chin, and said, "Young handsome young man, what are you thinking about?" Huo Yingzhe said calmly, like a frustrated little daughter-in-law, "The handsome young man is thinking about his sweet little daughter-in-law." "Haha, why are you still standing there?" He Tian smiled and said, "I miss you. Regardless of everything else, my wife misses him. Pamper my little wife first. After. There will be no more after that." When Huo Yingzhe woke up in the morning, he had already resigned himself to his fate. Fortunately, the film school was not in chaos now. Let He Tian go to work for the time being. "Just when I think about my daughter-in-law's good looks, I must be harassed by crazy bees and butterflies who overestimate their abilities." However, Huo Yingzhe was not afraid and was very confident. Nowadays, all the men in country H are better than him. No matter how handsome he is, he's not as handsome as he is. No matter how rich you are, you won't be as rich as he is. No matter how talented you are, he is not as talented as him. In this case, what are you afraid of? Thinking of this, Huo Yingzhe went to work feeling refreshed. This project has been very tight and important recently, and he has no other thoughts. Qi Xiaoyan was shocked when she heard that He Tian was going to become a teacher at the Huaxia Film Academy. "Oh my, Sister Tian is still awesome," Qi Xiaoyan said. "I'd better be a student. It's better to go to college." "Don't be so exaggerated," He Tian said, "it's just a job." "Haha, it's not just work, it's also our business," Qi Xiaoyan said. "Those female students in the film school are no less than the girls in our music school, and they like to dress up more." He Tian's eyes lit up. She nodded and said, "Well, that's right, yes, I will develop more members in our studio by then." "Not a customer?" "What is a member?" Qi Xiaoyan asked. This statement seemed very lofty. "Oops, how could you forget such an important thing? Members are important customers of our store. We make a card and issue it to our customers. If they come to buy in the future, we will give them a discount and let them become my long-term customers," He Tian explained. "With the discount, aren't you making less money?" Qi Xiaoyan said. "Isn't it a good deal?" "It doesn't matter if you make less money, the important thing is to retain this long-term customer. 2 pieces of clothing a year, 4 pieces in 2 years, and 6 pieces in 3 years. If there are more and more customers in the future, won't we make more money? He Tian explained, there has been such a membership system abroad for a long time, and the effect is very good. Chi Xiao Yan thought about it carefully, nodded and said, it seems to make sense. If Sister Tian says it's okay, then that's okay. It's definitely possible, he Tian nodded, just take a look. It's just that they want to make membership cards, but they can't find a suitable manufacturer to make these things. After a few days, Chi Xiao Yan suggested, Sister Tian, why don't we find a carpenter and ask them to make it carved and write our studio's name and membership number on it? That's all we can do, he Tian nodded and said, that's it. Afterwards, the 2 people discussed with Zhang Wenwen, who designed the pattern and found a carpenter to make it. The brown wood chips are about 5 mm thick and have some embossed flowers on them. They look very high-end at first glance. A wood chip membership card cost only 2 yuan, and 1,000 were made, a total of 2,000 yuan. At the same time, they also went to see the studio that Zhang Wenwen was renovating. It was elegant and high-end and very good. Next to Sanfen Kiao Pastry, the first floor is a counter selling various Western pastries, the second floor is for tea seats, coffee, snacks, etc. As for the third floor, there are private rooms, which can be used for business discussions and the like. The decoration is very high-end. Next is the braised meat shop in Sanfen Kiao, with a restaurant upstairs and private rooms on the 3rd floor. As for the 4th and 5th floors, they are temporarily designated as staff dormitories. The remaining shops were directly renovated into home appliance stores. There are many washing machines, refrigerators, TVs, and even air conditioners and rice cookers imported from Hong Kong. The business is actually the best among the stores. The goods inside are already in short supply. We can only receive a deposit first and then place an order. The new family took their mother over and lived directly in the 4th floor house where the home appliance supermarket was located. After that, I managed the electronics supermarket. Sanfen Kiao braised meat shop and pastry shop opened in 2 places at the same time, causing a sensation in the local area. After half a month of operation, the business has stabilized. Sun Sihao brought several trained employees to help in person for a few days, and young employees recruited from the local area did a simple training and then opened the business. Master Tang's eldest apprentice, Wu Quiqui, brought 6 employees to Yanjing.